Oh, what's up?
There
What's
it
up?
is. It is time.
Man,
Fred, you ready for this?
I'm always ready for this. You know what's up.
Check it out. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
This is Fred Lenars, subprime hero.
And we are here with the bing bong. The up bus is pulling up inside of this cafe.
It is.
Rolling into the station.
Making a
folks.
stop here at the Car
we
Guy
get ready
Cafe.
to go. Come on.
He had forced it over and was trying to fight.
For you, Derek, who was it in the car business specifically that has most influenced you in being a positive influence in charging the up bus?
So, I might piss some people off when I say this one. Just because I didn't pick them, but if I had to be one person, I'll say it would be the initial one who actually believed in me, who saw, me being rough around the edges and was like, you know what, you got something there. You just need to be refined a little bit. Casey McGraw, and I'm not even sure if he's I spoke to him about 2 weeks ago. I'm not sure if he's in the car business, but he came to Pat Peck Nissan, and I was, unbeknownst to me, I had, because I was such a terrible salesman at the time, started to get really good on the phones, and he saw that, and he was like, hey, you know what, keep working, let me tweak you on some of the sales stuff, and basically laid the foundation for me to figure out a lot of stuff. But it was him just believing, like, you know what, you can do this. You know what I'm saying? I truly see this in you, taking the time to do the one-on-one trainings every single day, sometimes for like 2 or 3 hours, where I'm just, going back and forth, getting drilled on word tracks and, how to handle different things, posturing, just the basics of sales. Casey McGraw, hands down. I think he most recently was the dealer principal for, I want to say it's Lithia Springs Volkswagen. I know he's been to a couple of places. He owned a couple of dealerships, but hands down, him all day. Just that belief, that belief in putting that time in. He was one of the first real managers that I've ever had. Not to sit behind the desk and just chill, but the one who, hey, you're struggling on that deal, you don't have to go get him. He's already coming over there because he's watching the floor, keeping an eye on everything and seeing what's going on, and just again imparting. That the mentality you need to keep going. Hey, you messed up today. That's fine. Keep going. You know what I'm saying? Keep calling people. Keep talking to people. Hands down, Casey McGraw.
Man, I like Casey already, man. Great person. And that's exactly what a manager needs to be. They need to be somebody who is a floor general, who watches what's going on, who's stepping in before the salesperson even knows they're messing up. Right. You know what I mean? They know they're getting ready to answer that question the wrong way, and they have to go, hey, folks, hey, how you doing?
Like, wait a minute. Why are you already walking to me? I barely even told you what's going on. You said enough. I'm on my way. You know what I'm saying?
So that's great that you had somebody that built that confidence, saw that spark inside you, saw that, the future that you could have if you just fine-tuned it, cleaned up and rough, and sanded off the edges a little bit. And you got to have those people who honor you that way. Lou talked about that the other day about me, made me feel good about us in this podcast, how I always blow his head up. Because when we were first starting this, I'd always be like, hey, dude, you sound great. Don't worry about it. Who cares? It's all good. Boom, boom, boom. You sound fantastic. Roll with it. So when you have that cheerleader that does that for you, and it just allows you to, and then, because it's truth. Once you have that and you built that up and you go out there and you just do, instead of think, you just do. It changes the game up, man. It helps you just relax. You don't have to worry about every word you're saying. You just know you're doing the right thing. So,
and being
good
somebody,
job, Casey.
that is pouring out into somebody else. So Casey's legacy continues on with what it is that you taught him. You know what I mean? I'm always going to reference back to simple lessons that I received from Matt Damos. You know what I mean? From Paul Damos. And there's a lot of people, right? There's a big laundry list of people that
there is a laundry list, but
because you picked something
it
up.
Usually goes back to the beginning, for
right?
me too.
So that's why, you know, the question, what is, you answered it great, because it was the person that was most pivotal. He saw something in you, poured into it, and now it's obviously multiplying and bringing good fruit to the industry. Man. You know what I mean? And it's exciting.
Casey. You said Casey McGraw, right?
Casey.
Yes, indeed.
McGraw.
Yes, indeed.
I love the name. Quick Draw McGraw. I love it. So
that was one of his. That's how he went into one of his clothes. You know what I'm saying? He's like, "Hey, I'm Tim's cousin, Tim McGraw, Casey McGraw," and then he just goes into his whole.
I love it, bro.
Hey,
whatever it takes. Wit, yeah. So that's pretty cool, man. You've had this great journey. You got into the business before you were in the business. You obviously you're an Air Force veteran, and I appreciate the service, man. You know, Lou and I are both veterans also. So it's nice. I found that a lot of veterans tend to have really good success in this business because they're used to doing processes and understanding and having to work on those things. So it really helps, man. So that was something for me. I know that helped transform me into the guy that I am today, and how I'm able to just do certain things quicker and use my brain a lot faster than I think most people. Even when I'm not good at something, I have to be better at it, because you just have to be, just like you. And I think that's great. You're a firefighter. I appreciate that also, man. Amazing. I think that, when it comes to your family, when it makes time to make a decision, hey, do I want to take the less chance in my life and get into something else? I think you made a great decision there. Because I think the opportunities for you in this business, for you to be able to shine and share, is way bigger. And that's what leads me to my question. You've had all this, you've had this growth, you've had people who've raised you up and got you to where you're at. And then now you're starting to do this Up Bus, right? Now, my question for you about that is, what inspired you? What made you say, hey, you know what, man, it's time for me to put I know you do a lot of internet content, and I know that's part of it, but what made you say it's time for the Up Bus? It's time for me to start talking to people. It's time for me to start spreading some info. What made you do that?
Great question. To be perfectly honest, that's actually how I learned. Like when I would, again, I've always considered myself to be a student of sales, or really just a student of life. And I like to find people who are where I want to be and doing, certain things in their life. And, hey, I just want to ask them questions like, hey, what motivated you? What did you do when it was hard? How do you do X, Y, Z? And, in doing those, of course, sometimes it would be one-on-one, but of course, as I got to meet a diverse set of people from all over the country, sometimes we're doing a Zoom meeting and, I was like, man, I'm the social media guy. That's what I'm known for. Let's do this on live. Maybe somebody else can find value in this like I can. And, some ulterior motives in it too, like, being kind of, linked with them may increase my brand a little bit, but ultimately the motivation was to just, learn from them. Right. And, in doing so, again, spread that out to someone else who can also learn from it. Because a lot of folks I interview, man, I'm just big fans, I'm like, wow. Like, Jim Ziegler, the other day when I interviewed him, just like watching him, he said, I was like, bro, I have watched you so many times. Like my actual closing line right now in dealerships is directly from when I think I seen him on the Dealer Playbook a couple of years ago, one of his power positioning things. But that's really what it was, just to find people who were, solutionaries, right? Find people who were doing things the right way and who were moving and grooving, and just pull them into, hopefully pull them onto my little show and let me just ask some questions, not just the regular questions, but questions that I think folks are not necessarily scared to ask, but just kind of sneak under the radar. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, man. No doubt. Man, you've had some great guests. He was just one of the many good guests you had, I think you had the Car Guy Coffee guys on there. They're amazing.
What the best show I think I recorded to date, man. Most definitely.
But to be honest with you, man, all your shows were great. And I'm looking forward to seeing the future. I know when you have more time on your hands, because I know you're traveling everywhere, you're going to be dropping some more for us. And I hope that everybody out there, if you're watching the show right now, make sure you check out any of his old shows that he has out already. They're all over the place. You can watch them on YouTube. You can watch them anywhere you need to watch them. They're out there. Watch them. Check them out. And he's going to obviously be coming out with some more stuff. You don't want to miss that. Dude, I think the Up Bus was a great idea. The name's fantastic, Derek.
Huge. Thank you so much, man.
Once again, you're a great host. I love how you do it and you make it happen. And I think that's cool for other people to see. Like, You can do it anywhere. I see you do stuff live at dealerships. I see you do stuff wherever you can be. You're going to do it because you know that's something that you take an opportunity to put yourself out there. Because one thing we do is when you put yourself out there, you're growing. Because it's a scary thing. A lot of people are freaked out to do it. When you do it, and anybody else, if you do it, it takes that away. It helps you grow. People, like you said, your brand gets bigger. When you do it consistently, your brand keeps getting bigger. And then when your content.
That honestly comes from Gary Vaynerchuk, like his whole thought process is just document. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think a lot of us get so concerned with, man, how am I going to look with this, right? How is this going to be, right? Bro, just get it out there. What's the worst that's going to happen?
Gary Vee inspires me a lot too. And before I did anything on social media, I watched a lot of his stuff. And he goes, just put it out there. Just do it. 60, like he talks about crazy amount of posts a day and just put out, just keep dropping it. Put it on TikTok. He talked about TikTok years ago, and he's still talking about it. And it's unbelievable how big TikTok is becoming and how big it's getting music is being influenced by TikTok now. Number one hits are being influenced by TikTok now. That Savage song, come on. That wouldn't have been a number one hit if it wasn't for TikTok.
Lizzo, her whole career literally came from a couple of skits that were done on TikTok. That's why she blew up. Roddy Ricch. There's so many people.
I think it's cool. Don't get me wrong. We've dropped a few of those ourselves because they are catchy, right? But at the same time, like that, it's amazing what that type of thing is, how much power that has now. And we're just seeing the beginning of it. We're just 10 years really into this type of stuff, and it's just becoming something. Give it another 10 years and you're going to see what it really becomes. And if we stay on the game, just like you are with the UpBuzz, with yourself, with your social media, and the way you're telling everybody to use it, man, we're going to be ahead of the game. We already are. If you go out nationwide, how many people really do it, right? So it's consistently. So, man, I honor you on that. Lou, what you got on that fifth question?
All right. So I want to make sure that we bring this all in together, car guys and car gals, so that we stay on task and we stay on subject. We have somebody that we all as managers, all as leaders, all as co-laborers on the sales floor want to be. We want to fast track. We want to see the top of the pay plan, and we want to accelerate to that as fast as we can. And once we get to that top level of the pay plan, then we want to see just how big we can make this go. Right?
Absolutely.
That is the mission of a fast tracker. We are trying to get to the next destination at the quickest possible pace, the right way, without hurting anybody, using all of the right fuel, right? So what has been the key tools that you have used to engineer the engine inside of this UpBuzz to fast tracking now, so that all others that want to be like you or help and influence their own guys to be, they can say, okay, well, let's go ahead and get these tools. If we want to do this job, we want to make fast trackers out of our guys. Here's the tools that they need to go ahead and have in their hand.
Oh, that's gonna be that's a big question. So,
we go home. Hey,
it's yours. Tom Maoli was on the show, and he's talking about go big or go home.
He's
go big.
Let's do it. Session.
So the tools to kind of turn folks into these fast trackers. First and foremost, and again, I know this is kind of the answer, but social media all day, and not just using it like for the purpose of, hey, post to marketplace and things like that, but really getting in depth. I say this all the time, right? That we're in the people business. We just happen to sell cars, because that's ultimately what it is. You know what I'm saying? These, the person who's going to be the biggest, the best, or who sells a lot of cars typically has the most relationships in the dealership. So when you stop looking at social media as just a means to kind of just put myself out there, more so as a way that I can build way more, a lot more relationships, a lot faster. That's going to be the key to it, from Facebook, which is hands down the best return on investment of time, money, etc. Just getting out there and using that consistently, going live on Facebook, you know what I'm saying, adding your customer base and really having actual conversations, not just trying to be a sales guy, but trying to be their go-to person for pretty much whatever you have influence over or access to. And them, talking to them, being their person, again, building those relationships with them. So, and then having that same mindset when it comes to Instagram, TikTok, and things like that. Those are the main things right there. Those are the main tools that you want to use on a daily basis. And, it's not hard. It's not rocket science. It's just having the gumption to get up and do it, to overcome that fear. You know what I'm saying? No BS, no frills with it. Just say, hey, I'm going to put it out there. And what you'll find is that as you commit to doing stuff on a daily basis, when the fear gets worse, when the fear gets out, goes away, lessons, but more importantly, get better. I committed 2016 to, saying, hey, I'm going to do a live video a day. And I was terrified. It's to the point where even now, I do not watch any of my live, except for the bus episodes, just because I got to edit and cut them and chop and things like that. But other than that, I never watch the videos. Why? Because I'm super self-conscious, But the key thing is, though, over time, as you do these things consistently, you'll start to get much, much better. And I think that one, you're building a brand for yourself, which is huge, that you consistently post things. But what's so huge about it is that you'll attract your tribe. You'll attract those people with 390 million people in the U.S. If you can find, heck, just about 2,000 that really just, I mess with this guy right here. This is my guy. 2,000 of those folks, it's a hit all day. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to need cars, right? And 2,000 divided by, if you're a 20 car guy a month, you're making pretty good money there. So, what's that? I'm terrible at math. It's 100 months, I think it is. Maybe something like that. But anyway, find a certain amount of people that really, really mess with you, build that relationship with them, and you're golden. That's really all you need. Just social media, and the gumption to get out there and use it the way it should be by building relationships.
No doubt about it. And and you're right. And that's the very minimum it does for you. If you use social media, you have those friends have friends. It just keeps multiplying. You go out there and you post a confessional or a testimonial at the end of a purchase. And
oh my God.
The next thing you know, that their friends see that, oh man, Bobby bought a car? Man, if Bobby could buy one, I could buy one. I need to go see that, right? Huge. And so on and so forth. And it just keeps multiplying. And the more you do it, and the more consistent you are, the more they're going to notice you, the better it is. The thing I've noticed also, and I think it's becoming more and more evident, is that it's your new resume, not just for work, but for future clients. Whether you're a salesperson, whether your clients are dealerships, whether your clients are, podcast hosts, whatever they are, whatever your client base is, people are going to look you up on social media and they're going to see how much work you're doing. It's easy to tell if somebody's a hustler or not on social media right now. You can look at it and be like, man, I seen him put 2 videos up last month. He didn't touch anything. He put 1 more up here. This guy, either he doesn't sell a lot or he just doesn't care enough, right? Then you look at a dude that's at the next dealership that's posted everything he sold, right? Even if it's just 10 a month he's posting all 10. Everyone's smiling faces. His next month, his reach is going to get bigger and everyone's going to keep loving this guy. Next thing you know, he's doing 30 a month. Because he just consistently puts everybody's video out there and everyone's wanting to see him. For me, as a client, I would, that's the way I would go buy a car. I would look at them like, oh, Bob wants to talk to me. Let me look at this Bob guy real quick. Yeah. Bob. No, Bob.
And you don't know what time somebody's going to be in the market for the car and need to see that testimonial video to make that determination. Oh, today is the day that all of these people
I was in a bankruptcy and they helped me out. And this person's like, there's no way they can. Oh, they helped them in a bankruptcy.
Boom, right then and there.
That's just somebody just seeing that they got done with a bankruptcy. So
80% of customers out there consider these reviews that are left on business pages, Google's. They consider that up there with a personal referral. Like that stuff is massive, especially when you get it on video. It's real people. They're telling the story, man, it's a game changer.
Yeah, people are not as entertained by what it is that you say about you. They like hearing what somebody else says about you better, you know what I mean? And directing them to you. And when that occurs, no matter what, the odds are always going to go up inside of closing ratios. We've been taught for years, right? Your closing ratios are way better on that referral than that fresh up. So if you're going to get a referral, it's one thing to make a few dials to some people per day to say, hey, you got any referrals for me? I need to fill out my 1, 2, 3 sheet, right? Or you can say, hey, you thousands upon millions of people out there that are friends of those friends. Hey, they're saying cool stuff. I can help you too. And it all connects back to you. It's great. It's so simple in prospecting. But you're right. Social media, you heard it here, folks. The Up Bus explained to you that on Facebook is for a lot of cases, your best return
Facebook is
on
huge,
investment, because
especially
there's
for
so
the-
many
for your
tools
car
you can do
sales
for
people.
nothing.
Woo!
You could do for not even
Gigantic.
spending anything.
Mhm.
You can reach so many people.
Just
If
work
you
hard.
Do it consistently
That's
and
it.
have your customers engaged with you. Be a friend of everybody
For
you
real.
meet. You know what I mean? Have
I
them
watch
check into
guys.
your work.
I watched so many guys go from doing, my bad, somebody sent me an email. But I watched so many guys come in from, Walmart and, maybe McDonald's or what have you, and they come into this business and we go through the training, because that's so important. You have to, like, just saying social media, you got to be taught how to do it, in the mindset behind how to do all these things. But once you get it, Byron, one of my guys out in Chambly, Georgia, actually, he went literally 8 cars the first month, 12 cars the second month, and he has consistently been at 30 ever since. And why? Working his social media, just understanding the science behind it, and pushing. And the main focus is on the people, just delivery videos, honestly.
And if you could teach a salesperson early, and the key is not just to tell them how to do it, it's not just to teach them how to do it, but it's to do it with them, right? It's
Absolutely.
It's the training part of it, and you really focus on, and you become a team, and you work together, and they build themselves up. If you do it early enough, and they get that 30 car a month habit already, 20 car a month up to that 30. That's all they know. They're never going to be that 8 car guy, because those 8 car guys get comfortable, and that's what they know. So they're like, hey, this is what I do. I sell 8 cars. I'm okay with it because I make enough and I'm cool and I don't lose my job technically. I might get threatened every month, but I'm still here. But then you got the 30 car guy who's, if you teach them early enough, they're going to be that way forever. And they're always going to be that monster. They're always
set that expectation.
Right. And it's you got to teach habits early.
You know what I mean?
Bad habits are bad.
I can see you. You know how to fly. Well, why are we walking?
Man,
you know what I mean?
That's right.
There we go.
Well, guys, this was our 5-liner with Derek.
So
We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with our
The Up Bus will be back.
With fresh news. That's
is
right.
In tow. Car guys and car gals, here we come. Whoa.
Whoa, that's right.